Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here, watch this. Shut up. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
So this is Mike Smith reporting for OccupyPortlandNews.com, and I'm sitting here with
Nolan McGregor.
So we're here to talk about austerity a bit.
Well, that's right.
And if I wanted to explain to someone who's never heard of this concept, austerity in America, I would like have them possibly just go and Google what's going on with Greece right now.
Now, a lot of us, we've heard about what's been going on in Greece. I remember, this whole protest riot thing that's become, so popular lately. That was going on in Greece and back, that really took off in around, 2010, 2009 even.
2009, 2010.
Yeah, correct.
Started, yeah.
So they were sort of the vanguard there. Basically, austerity is what I like to call the rich man's last resort. With the economic collapse, with the pillars of civilization sort of shaking, the only way that the global elite can retain their position, the only way they can continue to squeeze money out of a system that really doesn't have much productivity left, is to take the wealth that's already there, that's already been generated, but that belongs to someone else, the populations of countries, and governments, speaking on behalf of corporations, say that you've got to tighten your belt. They're going to raise prices, they're going to raise taxes, they're going to slash government spending, save all that money for leather chairs for the plutocrats, and that's the way it's going to be. So it's really the most naked and undisguised manifestation of the capitalist impulse that we've ever seen.
Let's call it what it is. It's basically theft, right?
It's theft, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, people have worked their entire lives for their Social Security.
For their Social Security, for government benefits
of all kinds. Government benefits of all kinds.
The taxes they pay.
We have paid in... I got my first job picking tobacco with Mexican immigrants as a teenager. Okay, I paid into Social Security so that people that can't work for themselves, so that people that are old, people that have had disabilities from on-site accidents, so that they could get these benefits. And now my effort, so I didn't mind paying that money. Okay, I didn't mind it at all. But my effort and millions of Americans' efforts to set up these safety net systems for ourselves are going to be, in the near future, according to Hillary Clinton, making little statements of, off the cuff about, Americans tightening their belts or whatnot. It's a scary precedence, and what scares me about it is not the fact that the government's going to take these monies away from people. It scares me how people are going to react to it. And I'll give an example just quickly.
If Europe is any example, they're not going to react well.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But think about this. Americans have been generationally conditioned to believe that America is this shining city on the hill. We're the most wealthiest, most prosperous nation in the world. But if you think about it, they're looking at the income of all Americans and then averaging it out. We have a huge disparity between the actual ownership class, the people that actually own the means of production, and the people that actually produce everything. There's a huge disparity there. And I try to tell people that we are in a time period in this country where we're paralleling what happened in 1929 in the Great Depression. And they're all, well, where's the breadlines? If you had to see all the people, if all the people that were on food stamps right now turned pink, you would just, drop dead. It's like...
They'd be everywhere.
Yeah, they'd be everywhere.
So, if they did stand in a line, then there would be a very substantial breadline. But, of course, we have government programs since the 1930s, since the Great Depression, like food stamps, like Social Security, all thanks to Franklin Roosevelt. But these things are under attack. Now, for background, you should look at what austerity has meant to the Europeans. European governments facing, the same fiscal crisis that we're facing have instituted what they call austerity measures, where they cut government programs, cut government spending in an attempt to, save money or whatever. So you look at Greece, you look at Spain right now, where there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people standing out in front of the Spanish government building demanding the resignation of the government. Similar things going on in Portugal, in Italy, in France.
Occupy Spain.
Occupy Spain. It's important. We should keep in mind that these people who are out in the streets and fighting for what they believe in, they're part of of our own movement, which is a worldwide movement. We shouldn't assume that Occupy is an American phenomenon, because it's not. It was inspired by the Arab Spring, and it's inspired, similar actions all over the world. So Occupy Spain, Occupy Portugal, Occupy France, all these different groups, they're all part of one big tent. So Europe is in the grips of some of the worst, or best, political strife in the Western world for generations. It's not just the protests either. Another example from Spain, this happened a few months ago. There was a large-scale general strike in the Spanish mining region of Asturias, which I believe is in the northwest. And these miners, they went on strike by the hundreds of thousands, and riot police were called in. They started cracking skulls, and things got heady. Now, what made it really interesting is when these Spanish miners made homemade rocket launchers and started firing them at the police.
Oh, and I'll add links to that below the video.
It's very, very fascinating
check it out.
stuff. So that, combined with just the general chaos, really, that's reigning in the streets of cities like Madrid and Lisbon and Paris, it shows you what people have done to respond to this notion of austerity.
An explosion of violence in the midst of a peaceful protest pits rioters against police. Tear gas covers the center of Athens and rocks begin to fly at police lines, sending thousands of marchers away. There is much anger against the current coalition. This man holds a rope with which he wants to hang the government.